The next special relationship creating liability would be in between father and child. As a general rule, a father is not responsible for the thoughts of his children, but there are circumstances in which the parent becomes vicariously liable. Therefore, father may be liable for the thoughts of his children. The condition is when the father sends his son on an errand and he will be responsible for his negligence as the father allows his negligence. That child got an opportunity of committing a wrong due to his own personal negligence. The father becomes liable as the father created an opportunity for the child to do the mischief. So, in the leading case, Bobby versus Sells in 1916, where the father, in spite of his neighbor's warning of mischief of the child by an air gun, the father allowed his son to handle the same, and the son's careless handling of the same and the son's careless handling, a person was injured and the father was held liable. In the same way, in Gibson versus Kinney in 1928, the father allowed his son to drive a horse cat and the child drove it negligently and injured the plaintiff. The father was held vicariously liable for the tort committed by his minor son. So, in the last special relationship that is between husband and wife, so at common law in England, the husband used to be liable for the torts committed by the wife. It is based on the principle that after marriage she is under shelter and protection of her husband. This vicarious liability is not based on the maxim qui facit per alium facit per se, as neither the husband is master nor the wife is a servant. This liability of husband ended with judicial separation or divorce, but after enactment of law reforms, Married Women's Act 1935, a married woman may be sued in tort. The husband's liability depends entirely upon express or implied authorization or ratification, as in the case of master and servant. So, these are the very special relationships that we have discussed regarding creation of vicarious liability as such special relationship between master and servant and between the owner and independent contractor, so also between the principal and agent, between the company and its directors, and between the firm and its partners, so also between the father and child, and lastly between the husband and wife. So, vicarious liability is completed with all these.